Another free full body workout. Find yourself a big old hill, hit 5 hill sprints, and then after you're good and tired from that, you're going to do some plyometrics. I think I hit 3 sets of 3 each on single leg bounds, and then broad jumps. We're using the stairs because it requires more force put into the ground to cover more distance. It doesn't look like a lot, but you're covering both vertical and horizontal distance, and then you're also reducing the amount of stress that you have to load the body with versus a normal triple broad jump. So it's a good way to work the impulse for the central nervous system, but keep the legs fresh for the rest of the workout we get into. So after we hit our sprints and plyos, get into some power stuff, split snatches. Really don't like to go too heavy on these, just try to move them fast. There's 135 here. Crispness is the name of the game. I'm here doing some sport box squats. I know I'm not getting the depth from the internet trolls. The whole point is to mimic a jump under a heavy load and being able to not get pinned by the weight on the box. From there, we're pairing it with some hip up to jumps. These are deceptive. The hip up's hard enough, but you have to be able to get your hips up underneath you and be stiff enough to create a vertical impulse to get a good jump. A lot of people are slow on the transition on these. Finishing our lower bodies section up with some Nordics, one of the GOAT of athlete exercises, up there with the rear foot Bulgarian split squat and pretty much sprinting. So those three, if I could only train 3 things, it would be rear foot elevated split squats, Nordics, and sprinting for sure. Obviously, I love a good back squat and things like that, but these will keep your tissue ready for sports. Need to work my way back up to getting a full body -1 here. So that's all right. One of the ways I do that is doing these short range Nordics. So I saw a name for them, but I can't remember. But essentially what you're doing is you're getting the hip hinge of a normal hinge, and your weight is making it a little easier to take that knee through deeper flexion or extension. From here, we're moving on to some upper body stuff, hitting our upper body incline bench press. I don't have an incline bench. This is like kind of a low incline. I have to buy myself a nicer bench so I can get a true medium incline, work the delts a little bit more. But this did the trick. It felt pretty good, honestly. This low incline, if you have cranky shoulders, is probably a little bit better than a traditional flat bench. So force you to use a little less weight. And the angle is just a little more ergonomic on the shoulders because of where it kind of positions your thoracic cavity. After this, we paired it with a plyo like we always do, hitting our med ball reactive tosses. There it is. Probably could have done a little harder, but I didn't want to break my freaking ceiling, so I hit that on the last one there. Finishing it up with some dumbbell rows, doing some rest pause stuff. Finishing any workout with dumbbell rows is a great thing for athleticism and general health. See, I got my big old 95 pounders here. I was trying to get somewhere between 10, 15 reps and then switch hands. And don't need to be super methodical about it. I like getting a good stretch in the scapula, good pull into the rib cage with the elbow. As long as you can kind of pause the top of the last rep, keep going heavier on them. I mean, even cheat rows have their place, just working grip strength and stretching the lats under load. So I think a lot of people are afraid to go heavy on these. This is one exercise where you can really test yourself and reap the rewards of it, and pretty low risk of injury. I think in college I used to work up to like 120, 140 on these. I got a ways to get back there, but maybe I'll start trying to hit those 95s for sets of freaking like 50 or something. And then pairing it with our plyometric, working a little foot ankle stability as well. Just hitting some Y drops or delt drops there. Pretty fun, and just working some little things, nuances. And then just messing around with these, working some rear delt / kind of lat swings there, trying to mimic kind of where the arms get to when we're sprinting, and just being able to contract and relax. Definitely good to wake the shoulders up, and yeah, they're fun. finishing up with some core stuff, get my big butt up here, trying to do some gymnastics exercises. I don't have stall bars, so I just use my barbell. I think I had it set a little too high, but that's all right. And just working some compression. And then one of my favorites, the old suitcase deadlift, using the big heavy dumbbells, bending the one oblique, and trying to crank it down on the other side. Definitely letting the hips move a little bit as well, trying to coil and just be resilient and robust. These are pretty fun and definitely more challenging than they look. Probably worth loading up pretty heavy on a barbell as well, working your grip strength and kind of seeing what maybe a good 3-rep max is. If you've got a big discrepancy between your left and right oblique, you got something to work on. Have fun, guys.